Before we get into the video, I quickly want to talk about his build. It's a gun-oriented Yamato, so we're leaning a lot towards gun damage. And the key to this build is to get your fire rate and lifesteal up while building as much damage as possible. There will be some defensive items as it's something that we have to build, but again, it's very gun-oriented. And here's a preview of how crazy the build can get. You can also play Spirit Yamato if you want, but the gun build has become more and more popular recently. Yamato also has one of the highest win rates in Ascendant and Eternals lobbies right now, so have some fun with this character while you can. And by the way, I do private coaching in Deadlock, so make sure to head on over to my Discord for more information, and let's get right into the video. Alright, we're back with another one, and today I'm covering a gun Yamato build played by Aura, who's a very high elo player in Europe. And by the way, 90% of you are not subscribed, so make sure to hit that sub button and let's hit that 40k. I'll keep the content going, as you know. Looks like he is laning into a Warden here. He starts with his 3, and whenever you pop your 3, you heal yourself, and you also reduce their fire rate. So whenever you put 1 point into it, you actually reduce their fire rate by 50%. So into a Warden, that's huge. Warden relies a lot on gun damage in general. Gets the first wave going there, and in general in the solo lane you want to just try to get the first wave before your opponent in order to get them into this position. Yamato is a really good lane bully. As you can see, he's using the stairs here to use his right click to poke that Warden, and you just want to make your opponent feel uncomfortable. The only thing that you need to be mindful with Yamato is that she has 500 HP, which is the lowest start in the entire game, so you want to stay quite healthy. You need to be mindful of what your positioning is. You don't want to eat minion damage for no reason. You want to try to minimize the poke from your opponent while maximizing your own poke here. So I think it's going to unlock his power slash here, which is huge for Yamato. Does a lot of damage early on. Wow, that was... I've never done this in a VOD review before, but I want to rewatch that again. I think he power slashes, and then he uses the stair to get a right click out. That's huge. That is insane. Alright, alright. Never done that before. Never rewatched a kill, but that was just crazy. So yeah, that just shows the potential of Yamato in lane. You have insane amounts of burst, and your opponents have to respect it. Again, we're just really trying to minimize the damage that we take. And just like that, I think he wins the lane. The Warden did not respect the potential Yamato poke. And Yamato is so strong at pushing objectives. I would say it's one of the best split pushers in the entire game, because you do so much damage with your gun. It's so easy to hit all bullets onto the objectives. And then once you have your ultimate ability, you just become this unkillable monster. Just poking out the Warden there with the backwards right clicks. There's a lot of tech that you can do with your power slash, but the most common one is that you dash and then you press 1, so it carries the momentum forward. You can catch a lot of people off guard. And now he does have 1 point in that 3, so he reduces the fire rate of Warden by 50% if he manages to hit that one. Also, it's interesting, but on the gun Yamato, you max the grapple, because you can grapple to allies now, you can grapple to teammates to escape, and also you get weapon damage for 10 seconds after grappling. So a common strategy that a lot of Yamatos do, especially whenever they're pushing an objective, is they grapple to the objective. So this can be the walker, this can be the tower. They grapple and they instantly cancel the grapple whenever it is maxed out, and then you get that weapon damage buff without having to move your position. And in general, yeah, you want to push the way forward. You want to have your opponent under their tower, and that's the best situation for Yamato because it's just so easy to poke. We still have our 3 ability there. He has a lot of money. I would look for a buy timing here. He can just slowly move backwards. I mean, we're not really going to get the tower right now. Warden is playing quite aggressively. I wonder if he's going to buy a healing right this early on, or maybe an extra regen. Maybe resto shot, actually. Let's see what type of regen item he buys. I think it would be worth it for him. There's hollow point ward, there's resto shot, and extra regen. So yeah, we get spirit shield, we get bullets, shield, and we have some regeneration. Also buys monster rounds there. Monster rounds is really nice still. You push objectives, you kill walkers, towers, all that stuff 25% faster. You kill jungle camps, you kill minions 25% faster. Also you get bonus HP, weapon damage, and health regen. So it scales really well with extra regen. Just has a lot of sustain right now. Warden can't really do super much. We're about 700 gold up on him, and we don't need to play super aggressive here. We're just looking to gain a lead onto Warden, and as soon as we have our ult, we become super strong. And keep in mind, whenever you have 1 point in your ult, you gain fire rate. So you have a lot of fire rate, you have a lot of bullet resistance, spirit resistance, so it's just super good. Combine that with some bullet lifesteal later in the game, you just generate so much HP by just shooting your gun. I would say see your 1, 2, and 3 ability as a way of utility, and your main damage is going to come from your gun with this build. So just focus a lot on the left clicks, and then find situations for your first 3 abilities, and then your ultimate is just the killing machine. And remember, if you do get a kill in your ult, it extends the duration by 2 seconds. And if you want to get the Christmas skin, you need to get 2 kills with the ult. Like once you're in the ult, you gotta kill 2, and then you get it. It's not the most ideal one. I mean, if you see Yamato right now, I don't know. I don't know where I would rate this skin, to be honest. It's alright. There's worse ones in the game. I think Warden has a worse Christmas skin than Yamato for sure. I mean, he just gets a hat that looks kind of bad, I would say. But regardless, it's cool. Hopefully Valve lets us keep these skins. I don't think they will, but let's see what they do decide on. Yamato is also very efficient at farming jungle camps. So in general, you'll be getting gold very easily on Yamato, especially if you are ahead of your opponent. But even when you are behind, if you just farm waves efficiently and you farm your jungle camps efficiently, you'll get back in gold very, very fast. And definitely focus on objective damage with Yamato. I think you can do it on most characters, especially in lower and mid elo whenever you're trying to climb. But especially on Yamato, I think she just has so much potential in breaking objectives fast. So definitely focus on that. I mean, if Aura can do it in high Eternals lobbies against some of the best players in Europe, then for sure you can do it in lower elos. And Yamato again has a really high win rate overall in Ascendant and Eternals. Yamato is in a super good spot, even though she just got nerfed a couple of days ago. The nerf was barely anything and she's just super strong. So yeah, have fun with this while it lasts. I don't think it's gonna last forever, so enjoy it while you can. Also bought extra stamina, which gives us a bit more fire rate. So yeah, we're looking for lifesteal, we're looking for fire rate, and then some defensives on top of that. I think you can upgrade your close quarters into a point blank, which makes it so that whenever you're closer to someone, you do more weapon damage, but your bullets also slow them. And yeah, looks like our team is behind right now. We're 2k gold behind. Looks like the lane with Pocket and Mirage is struggling really hard right now. But regardless, Aura is winning his lane right now, and we don't need to focus too much on our teammates again. Whenever you're playing Deadlock, just really try to focus on yourself and try to think to yourself, what can I do right now? Because as soon as you start worrying about teammates and what other people are doing, it's going to cloud your mind, it's going to affect your decision making, and it will in return lower your win rate. So I know it's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but just try to remain calm and just 100% focus on yourself. If you do end up losing, there is still value in that. Remember, there's a lot of value in losses, and there's always something that we can learn from our games. We can always push the limits of ourselves. And there we have the bullet lifesteal. So now we're just, yeah, we have a lot of sustain if we want to fight. They probably need to send 2 players to contest us. With Yamato, you can 1v1 pretty much everybody as long as you get your ult off. When you are stronger, you can definitely 1v2 or more. Also, keep in mind that whenever you pop your ultimate ability, it does reset your cooldown. So, for example, the 3 is really important because you heal 10% of max health on hero hit when you have 2 points in it. So you press your 3, you press your ult, and then you have your 3 again. So you can have a lot of healing on Yamato. And again, we have bullet lifesteal going as well. We have resto shot. Here we are just focusing the tower whenever we can, still respecting the Warden even though we are winning the lane. We don't want to throw our lead. And then as soon as the wave is pushed up to the tower, that's our timing to do something. In this case, it's going for boxes and is looking for a buy timing. In other cases, it can be ganking a side lane. It can be going for some boxes, going for the jungle. So a lot of different things that you can do. There's obviously more or better things to do than other. But as long as you make a decision and you try to make something off the timing whenever you have the wave pushed into the tower, that's all I really care about. Also by Quicksilver Reload there, we put it on our 3 ability here, so we press our 3 in order to reload, and also Quicksilver Reload does give us a 15% fire rate bonus whenever you use that. So again, we're looking for that lifesteal, we're looking for that fire rate, and then building around it. Looks like Warden is pushing back here. So the timing, you want to be back at your objective or your tower whenever the wave is pushing back into you. As soon as the wave is pushed into their tower or their objective, then you can look to do something. And also, let's say that the tower here would be gone here, right? Where the Warden is in the bottom right. If the tower would be gone and you're not sure if you can go for the walker or not, just make sure to push 2 waves, because that establishes an automatic push and it forces somebody to eventually match that wave in order to grab the soul. So if you want to leave and do something else, always just try to push 2 waves at least. And whenever you are in control of your lane, try to grab the buff at 10 minutes as well. I think it's worth to go for the buffs all the time. 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes. Every 5 minutes it respawns. You can't always go for the one at 10 minutes because it really depends on if you won your lane or how it's actually looking in the game. But the ones at 15, 20 and onward, they're super easy to get. You can definitely be there with good wave management. In higher elo lobbies, people will be calling them out and people will be looking to stack and make plays around the buffs. But in lower and mid elos, people are not that mindful of the buffs. So I'm sure that you can grab one for yourself. Be a bit selfish with it. Just grab it. It will increase your jungle speed. You will clear objectives faster. You'll just be more efficient on the map in general. You'll be stronger as well in the case of taking a fight. You don't always have to commit your grapples, and especially when it's maxed out, I think it's gonna be the next point that we get here. Remember, you do get weapon damage from the grapple, so you don't necessarily have to follow through with the grapple. You can just press it, cancel it with space, and then you're good to go. The tower falls there and we have 1850, so we can look to buy something, or we can just teleport over. That's something that you can do too. Whenever you break your tower in the solo lane, you can teleport over to the other solo lane in order to help out. It doesn't have to be a big fight like we see on the minimap now, where it's a 3v3 situation. It can just be, let's say your solo laner is struggling, right? You can teleport over, you can dual lane for a little bit, break their tower, and allow that, give the freedom to your teammate, so they are not in lane jail. I mean, it's very easy to get caught in the loop where you're just pushing waves back and forth and you're just stuck in lane until 10, 15 minutes, you know? Like, some laning stages go for a very long time. So if you personally do end up winning your lane and you break the tower early, just teleport over to the other side, help your teammate break that tower too, give them some freedom, allow them to roam the map. And remember, whenever you focus on your objective damage, this means that you will be breaking a lot of towers, walkers in general, right? And this means that you will be unlocking your flex slots, you will be sharing global gold to your teammates. I think they're just taking a fight on the Warden here. I mean, Warden does have a lot of gun damage, but he can't match us here. If we pop our ult, he just cannot win this fight. Even if somebody shows up here, we press 3, we press our ult, we press 3 again. There's a 3. I think Vindicta just dies there, yeah. Vindicta was gambling a bit on the snipes. Oh, doesn't get the jump up there, so we press our... Oh. Okay, so remember, you can still die in Yamato ult, which is, yeah, it's something that's a bit scary. I think, honestly, I think he held on to the ult for a little bit too long. So that's some advice that I want to give you while we're on the death screen here. We can watch one of our teammates play. But whenever you have your Yamato ult, don't get too greedy with it. Because one, the Yamato ult doesn't heal you anymore. They nerfed that about a month ago. And two, they can kill you in the ult now. So if you're a returning player, if you didn't know this, you can actually die in Yamato ult now. So you do have to be mindful of whenever you press it. And don't greed it. You know, if you're half HP, it's completely fine. Just press your 3, press your ult, and then press your 3 again. You'll be full HP. You have a lot of lifesteal with this build in general. I personally think that situation could have looked a bit different if he didn't hold on to his ult for that long. But I think he also gambled on escaping, because he jumped up on the little roof there, on the little side shed or whatever you want to call it. But he fell down and then he panicked, pressed the ult. So, you know, it happens. It's not the end of the world. Buy Swift Striker there for the fire rate and also intensifying mag, because intensifying mag gives you weapon damage over time. And it takes 2.7 seconds to achieve maximum weapon damage. So intensifying mag combined with fire rate is a very good item. It's a really good item on Warden too. If you do build a burst fire on Warden, it can be a very nice filler item there. Another item that is insane on Gun Yamato is Hunter's Aura. Hunter's Aura reduces their bullet resistance by 9% and their fire rate by 9%, but this gets tripled if you are in a 1v1 situation. So they have roughly minus 30% bullet resist and minus 30% fire rate on top of everything else, right? So you just become this 1v1 monster if you do Hunter's Aura. But again, it's not a mandatory item. I think the weapon items are a bit situational on Yamato, but again, we're looking for lifesteal, we're looking for fire rate. Another item with insane value on Yamato right now is Berserker Rage, because a lot of people love to shoot you when you are in your ult. You get those stacks up super easily, and then it also builds into Frenzy, which is one of the best items for Yamato right now. It's very slot efficient and very cost efficient, so yeah, Frenzy is definitely an item you want to build later. Vampiric Burst is another item that comes to mind because it gives you fire rate and 80% bullet lifesteal. You get a lot of ammo as well whenever you pop it, and it also gives you passive movement speed, and that definitely does help us as Yamato. More movement speed just allows us to be more efficient, but we're also more slippery in fights in general. And here we are just pushing waves and just grabbing some jungle camps in between. Curious what item he's gonna buy next. I like Burst Fire as well. I mean, again, looking for fire rate, right? Burst Fire is good. Point Blank is good. Berserker Rage, Frenzy. Another good defensive item on Yamato is Return Fire. Just insane value there because you can return weapon and spirit damage whenever you're in ult. It synergizes with their ultimate ability really well. There's the Point Blank that I talked about. 45% weapon damage and a 25% movement slow. You also get melee resist, bullet resist, 1 extra stamina bar and weapon damage on top of all of this flat. And also goes for that bullet resist rider, because whenever we hit somebody with a spirit ability, we lower the bullet resistance by 12%, which means it's a flat 12% damage increase. I think we're looking to get this walker down probably. I see Warden moving over there. I mean, again, if you're not sure, just push 2 waves and leave it. Go do something else. Go to another lane. Go do some jungle camps in the enemy jungle maybe, or teleport over. I mean, if you see on the left side of the map here, there's a play to be made right now. I think you might be looking for that. That's a tower that we don't have down right now, and that flex slot would be very nice. So I think he's teleporting over for that one. The buff spawned at 15. If you can see, the lady guys went for the buff here, but the one on the right side is not taken right now. Looks like we're about to have a fight here. You see the damage. I mean, right there you see the weapon damage already. That's insane. If he's gonna pop his ult early here, or if he's gonna hold on to it. I'm a little bit scared actually. I don't think I would have popped it there, but again, don't be too scared of using your ult. In general, I mean, Yamato's ult is on a very short cooldown too. It's 84 seconds, so yeah, it's not a big mistake to just pop it in case if it makes you survive or if it gives you a kill or something like that, right? There's Warden, by the way. He teleports over, we pop our ult. Another cue or timing to pop your ult is whenever you're about to get the crowd control. So the Warden cage was on him right there, and then he just popped his ultimate to not get caged. Haze ult is really good against Yamato. Shiv ult is also really good against Yamato because of the threshold, execute threshold, right? Shiv is a very good counter into Yamato, into Viscus, and these characters that can be very tanky or kind of unkillable. But luckily we have Shiv on our team right now. Characters with executes or a lot of bursts are good counters into Yamato ult. I mean, Haze ult did a lot of damage to us there. Vindicta Assassinate also has an execute threshold, so can be a bit scary if we are low HP on Yamato. There's that burst fire that I talked about, so you get more fire rate, sliding distance, movement slow resist, which is really nice, bonus HP and weapon damage on top of that. And whenever you hit an enemy hero, you get 30% fire rate and movement speed on top of that, so just insane item in general. I mean, now we have everything that synergizes really well together, and I think we're probably either looking to fill out that final purple slot there, or we're saving up for 6k items. So it might be Vampiric Burst, it might be Frenzy, or maybe a early Berserker Rage or something, because they only cost 1250. Very cost efficient, slot efficient, like I said earlier. Vampiric Burst are just insane on Yamato too. Yeah, we don't necessarily need to greed objectives, we're just looking to do things here. I mean, the enemy Vindicta is pushing our Walker here, so might be a kill for us. Cancels the grapple there to get a bit extra weapon damage. Maybe it would have been worth to save the grapple for Vindicta, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure what the purpose was for there. Because he used it on a minion, right? He didn't use it on Vindicta, so here's what the purpose of the grapple was there. Maybe a misfire, I'm not too sure. But then again, just back to waves. I think he will probably go for the wave right here, right now, just to fix it. Maybe grab some jungle on the way as well. Wave has #1 priority. So the flowchart is basically, it's waves and objectives. Then you want to look to get the buffs at 10, 15, 20 minutes whenever they spawn. And then jungle camps are kind of lower priority. So as soon as we can't really do a wave and there's nothing better to do on the map, we just go to do jungle camps. But it's not something that you should be prioritizing in your games. Prioritize waves, prioritize objectives, and you'll be getting more gold in general. You don't necessarily need to force a lot of things. I mean, a lot of things just happen naturally. Here you see Warden dives our Mirage. We grapple onto him, we get our weapon damage bonus. And now we can just chase the Warden, press R3 here if we need to heal. Or we just continue shooting him there. So remember, your 1, 2, and 3, they're more utilities than damage abilities. So if you can just freely shoot your opponent, especially after you grapple, right? Because when the grapple is maxed out, you get weapon damage. So especially after you use your grapple, just look to spam your left click as much as possible. And then if you need to, just press your 3, either for Quicksilver reload, or to apply that fire rate slow, or to heal yourself. There's a lot of situations, right? But in general, just grapple, spam your left click, look for an ult timing in case of you getting stunned or immobilized, right? Or if you need to survive in general, and then just send it. And at every given opportunity that you can, go for objectives on Yamato, because you push them so incredibly fast. And I'm convinced that we will be seeing it in this VOD as well. There he pushed the wave, and now he's just looking to go to the side lane here. I think he's joining the Shiv. I mean, we have Mirage and Calvin in mid right now. Looks to me like he's looking for a grapple here. Coming out. There it is. And notice how he doesn't press his 3 whenever he lands on the Bibo. But that's a tiny detail on Gun Yamato. You don't have to press your 3 unless you absolutely need the heal. The 3 is mainly used for Quicksilver reload. So he grapples onto his target, and then he just holds the left click. And then the 3 will be situational. A lot of Yamato players, they grapple in, they press 3, and then they fight. So just save it, use QSR on it, or to get your heal or fire rate reduction if you really need to, right? Grapples to pocket, and I think it's such a nice quality of life change for Yamato with the fact that you can grapple to teammates. It's just so easy to escape now. I think Yamato is a bit overtuned, but so much fun to play. So if you haven't played her yet, you know, if you want to get your Christmas skin unlocked, just go for it. Pops the Yamato ult there. I mean, with Yamato as well, you can secure the mid boss super easily. I mean, you can go for the punch and you can get parried, but parries don't stun you in your ult, so you can just go again. It's in general very safe to go mid boss with Yamato, especially if you have number advantage. See the damage here. Pops return fire and just burst down the lady, guys, before she can even swap. And I think with the pocket pushing the wave here, I think we definitely want to try to get the Walker here. So whenever you have the mid boss, I mean, that is your cue to just go for objectives. I like to make a call whenever grabbing the Riju what the next steps are, just to put my team on the same page. So it'd be something like, hey guys, let's get the walkers with this one, let's get both side walkers, or let's focus the mid walkers, let's get the low one first, you know, or maybe let's go into the enemy jungle, let's look for a pick and then push something. Also, in general, when all 4 walkers are down and you're not sure what to do in order to get the base guardians, just look to make a play to push the game forward and then force the mid boss. Maybe fake it or force it, get the mid boss, push the enemy base. And you can see how much damage it did to the walker there. So at this point in the game, when you do have your gun items and your fire rate on, then you can just go for the objectives and it's super fast. And now with the mid boss buff as well, I mean, the mid boss also gives you increased fire rate, so it just adds so much to our build in general. Buys Vampiric Burst there. And the Berserker's Rage there too. Oh, it's just called Berserker, my bad. Anyways, yeah, Vampiric Burst, insane. Movement speed, weapon damage, bullet, lifesteal, fire rate. It has everything that we're looking for in one item. Probably the best value item for Yamato alongside Frenzy. At least when it comes to the more expensive items. I mean, there's a lot of 3k items, a lot of 1250s that give us good value. We just look at this damage in general here. I mean, there's not much that they can do. I think Wraith will be pushing the wave. And then let's check the Walker damage here. Lady Guys tries to defend it, but there's not much we can do. I mean, there's an alchemical fire dropped on the Walker too, so we just do so much damage to it. Looks like he's trying to go in here. Maybe we'll pop the ult. Yes, there it is. Vampiric Burst maybe as well. Pops the Vampiric Burst there, and then he's just shredding them. Or Calvin traps the Lady Geist, and here you see the power of Yamato, my friends. And it's not that mechanically intensive. I mean, you need to have like good grapples, I guess, and then a bit decent aim to hold left click. But once you get to this point, I mean, I think anyone can just run it down with left click, right? It is a little bit more intricate than that for sure, but it's not the hardest thing in the world to do what he's doing right now. So definitely have fun with it. I think the harder thing is getting good enough at Yamato to consistently win your lane, and then knowing your limits, because I feel like Yamato is a very limit testing heavy character. You will need to take a lot of fights on Yamato to learn her limits and when to ult, when the ult timing is good, or what fights you can actually take at certain power spikes, you know, what net worth am I strong, what items enable me. And there he buys the refresher as well. It's a bit early, but I do like it. I do really like Refresher as a final purple item. I mean, especially that it has the souls for it. We have 2 ultimates right now. Our ult has a 8-second duration, and it increases by 2 seconds per kill. And you can basically dive objectives. I mean, if you want to force the patron at this point, you have 2 ults, right? So you can just spam the patron, and then you're good to go. Vindicta falls, and then we just go for the patron. I mean, there's not much they can do. We pop our ult, we can't get stunned, we can't get disabled in any way. And then they look at the damage on the patron whenever he decides to shoot. He's diving the enemy base. Alright, let's get the patron and let's wrap up this VOD here. So yeah, Yamato insane. Just so much damage all around. You take objectives so quickly. You win almost every 1v1 that you take with good ult timings. And here's the post-game screen for this one. You can see the damage in general. I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, and I hope that your holidays are being great. Let me know what you thought of the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, take care. Bye-bye.